The cake?
Oh,
It's coming?
yeah, she's running late.
Okay, I was like,
Maybe more than 1:45.
okay. I was like, just want to make sure before the ends that it's already set up over there.
Come. Swing to your right, swing to your right. Stop. Good. Put the tail that way. Swing it in. Here, catch people. Nope. Okay. This one will be. That'll be it. I can pull back a little. Nick. Got it?
Is it that?
Good.
Or like a month? Do we happen to have a cake cutter?
No? Did you buy like check that?
I have it in my bag. So. Yeah, I have it in my bag just in case, you know, like, let me just grab this one. I like your hair.
I didn't expect a double stack.
Damn.
One on stack. Oh, hey, that's cool. I got chills.
Man, that's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to rise and be seated at the appropriate times. We request cellular phones be silenced for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you. Welcome to today's ceremony. I am Master Sergeant Minacho, and I will be your narrator. Today marks the retirement of Master Sergeant Caleb P. Cummins after 20 years of service with the United States Air Force. The presiding officer is Major Lydia Chibino, Director of Inspections, 31st Fighter Wing Inspector General's Office. Please stand for the arrival of the official party, singing of the national anthem and the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I invite all who are willing to bow their heads and open their hearts and join me in prayer. Gracious and loving God, today we come to you with deep gratitude in our hearts for all the gifts you give us each and every day. Family, loved ones, good friends, and laughter. In such unique times, we are able to still be grateful for these things today. And even more so, today we are able to celebrate the service of an extraordinary individual. We are especially grateful for Master Sergeant Caleb Cummins for all his dedication to what right looks like, even as he led and mentored his team, sometimes with a very simple question: what does the red look like? And then he would show the commitment and dedication to them to answer their questions diligently and correctly. Thank you for who he is and the way he shows up in the world. He has fulfilled the mission with excellence. And as he prepares to retire and perhaps mow his lawn into his very own golf course, we ask that you bless him and Sandy, Daniel, and Brianna. After all, they have shared in and know the depth of service and sacrifice through these years. We pray that the joy and quality of their relationships will continue to deepen and strengthen in the many years to come. As we celebrate Master Sergeant Cummins, we send him onward with profound gratitude for all that he has done for our Air Force and our nation. I pray all this in your spirit of abundant life, in which we live, we move, and we have our being. Amen.
Thank you, Senior Airman King, for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and Chaplain Bauer for the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are honored to have Master Sergeant Cummins' family here with us. His wife, Cindy, his son, Daniel, his daughter, Brianna. We would also like to recognize our honored guests, 31st Fighter Wing Inspector General, Lieutenant Colonel Corey Jersh. And a heartfelt welcome to all friends, co-workers, and guests. Thank you for being here today. Today's time-honored tradition, the military retirement ceremony, is our nation's expression of appreciation for a job well done. A sincere official recognition of an airman's faithful and honorable service. It is a day of great significance for Master Sergeant Cummins' family and all who serve our country in the defense of freedom. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our presiding officer for today's ceremony, Major Lydia Ciambino.
Welcome. Thank you, guests, colleagues, and especially the family. Thank you for coming. Sergeant Menacho, where's Sergeant Oblong? I know she's back there running around. Sergeant Vincent, the whole team, thank you for helping put this ceremony together. When Master Sergeant Cummins asked me to officiate his retirement ceremony, I was honored and I gladly accepted. He said, "It's no big deal, just make it simple, just, you know, an ordinary ceremony." Well, reading through his records, I quickly realized that Master Sergeant Cummins' job history is anything but simple. In fact, it's extraordinary. So let's take a look at some of his accomplishments. A1C Cummins started his Air Force career as a nuclear weapons technician in 2001 at Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico. I like to make up words sometimes. So he held jobs such as munitions maintenance team member and controller. In these positions, he performed depot level maintenance on munitions and weapons at the DoD's most diverse and largest munitions maintenance facility. During the February 2003 NSI, his team was selected as outstanding performers and contributed to an outstanding rating for technical operations and stockpile. In 2004, he provided operational management during the NSI logistics movement, and the operation was rated excellent. This is also where he met Cindy, his wife, on April 20th, 2002 to be exact. At this time, Cindy was also active duty. They met each other at the E Club, and they really hit it off. He said she was one of the most beautiful women he had ever met. And they would spend the next 8 years together at Kirtland Air Force Base. In fact, before they were married in 2003, Senior Airman Cummins was preparing for a deployment, and he left everything to his then girlfriend, Cindy. I was thinking, wow, that is some trust. And then he goes on in the next sentence to say, yeah, I didn't have much stuff and I had $0 in my bank account. Nevertheless, Cindy took care of him, loaned him some money, and the rest is history. Now a Staff Sergeant, Cummins continued his career at Kirtland Air Force Base. He held positions such as Weapons Maintenance Team Chief, Bay Chief, Munition Support, Bay Chief, Weapons Maintenance Support, and Senior Controller. During this time, he directed inspection, inventory, issue, turn-in, and maintenance of consolidated toolkits. His oversight of 43 CTKs and 575 nuclear certified equipment items garnered an excellent rating as well as an Outstanding Team Award during the 2007 NSI. As Senior Controller, he coordinated over 300 Type 1 and 2 logistic missions, which upheld the safety, security, and reliability of over 1,200 PL1 and 2 resources. Fast forward to 2009. Staff Sergeant Cummins was selected to be an instructor for the nuclear weapons course at Sheppard Air Force Base, Texas. He delivered over 4,000 hours of instruction to 497 airmen. While serving as an instructor, he still continued to excel and strive for perfection. He was entrusted with a $19 million budget building custodian program, which he had 0 defects during the 2010 AETC Command Compliance Inspection. He also received the 2010 Building Custodian of the Year Award. Here in the Lone Star State, Cindy gave birth to their son Daniel in 2010 and Brianna in 2011. And I'm told that both kids are very proud to be from the state of Texas. Yeah, I'm from Texas. After completing 4 years at Sheppard, newly pinned on Tech Sergeant Cummins returned to Kirtland Air Force Base for another 4 years. I recently asked Master Sergeant Cummins what his favorite job was in the Air Force, and he responded with 2 of them. He said, Weapons Maintenance Bay Chief and Nuclear Accountability and Reporting Section, or NARS. And he was in both of these jobs when he returned to Kirtland. He explained to me that as a tech sergeant, things really started to come together for him. For years, he had learned how to do his job, but now he was learning why he was doing his job and the importance behind why he was doing his job. As Bay Chief, he felt as if he was almost in a new career field. He was doing multiple operations at once, managing a lot of airmen, working 12-hour shifts, and the responsibility he had as NCIC of NARS was also incredible. He was ultimately responsible for generating daily reports to the Joint Staff. I asked him what he liked most about being a 2W2, and he said, I quote, "Nobody else in the world gets the opportunity to put their hands on the weapon. This is a small career field. In fact, we ran the numbers. There's only 710 people that occupy this AFSC, and he's one of them." So if you've had the pleasure of working with Master Sergeant Cummins, you'll understand this next part I'm about to say, that during this assignment, in these jobs, he really started to deep dive into the regs and spend hours and hours at a time reading and researching. He said this was like the making of the Sergeant Cummins we know today. Next, in 2017, Master Sergeant Cummins completed a short year at Incirlik Air Base, Turkey. Not short. As a Special Weapons Section Chief. Here he led 19 personnel and maintained USAFE's largest PL1 stockpile, valued at $18 billion. He went on to receive multiple accolades for his teamwork, and his dedication to the mission was visible during numerous LSA exercises and NSA prep he managed. Finally, in 2018, Master Sergeant Cummins arrived here at Aviano Air Base, where he served as the Wing Self-Assessment Program Manager for the 31st Fighter Wing. While on the IG staff, he designed 3 annual inspection plans, successfully evaluated multiple readiness exercises, oversaw the Commander's Inspection Management Boards, and planned several no-notice inspections, which garnered USAFE's 2018 Annual Award for Outstanding Inspection Program. Master Sergeant Cummins was and will always be part of our IG family. We made a good team. Things happen for a reason. Caleb and I agreed the other day. For example, his retirement getting approved less than a month ago. Cindy scoring an awesome AGR job in Kirtland. Congrats, by the way, that is an amazing, incredible accomplishment. To the Cummins family, someone upstairs is definitely looking out for you guys. When doors open, gladly accept them because his timing is always perfect and he's always looking out for your greater good. Best wishes on your move back to Kirtland. Cindy, Daniel, Bree, thank you for letting us borrow your husband and your dad these last 20 years. Let's let the next adventure begin. All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for today's medal presentation, followed by the publishing of the retirement order. Attention to orders. This is to certify that the Meritorious Service Medal has been awarded to Master Sergeant Caleb P. Cummins for meritorious service 10 September 2018 to 30 September 2020. Master Sergeant Caleb Cummins distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to the 31st Fighter Wing, Aviano Air Base, Italy. During this period, Sergeant Cummins led 20 Commander Inspection Management Boards, coordinating with 43 units, identifying instances of undetected noncompliance. He synchronized 40 evaluators from 3 nations in the 2018 NATO Strike Evaluation, validating mission capabilities to Supreme Allied Command Europe. Additionally, Sergeant Cummins drove 3 surety events, priming the wing for the 2018 nuclear surety inspection, producing best results in 6 years. His expertise was vital in 3 integration exercises between the 31st and the 48th Fighter Wings, which supported over 1,000 personnel, receiving F-15 Strike Eagles and generating 12 strike lines, solidifying the Air Force's top mission. Furthermore, he was instrumental in designing 3 annual inspection plans, directing 290 events, 103 audits, and 6 multi-tiered inspections, garnering USAFE's 2018 Annual Award for Outstanding Inspection Program. Finally, Sergeant Cummins authored the Wing's COVID-19 response report, sourcing 30 units, lessons learned, and limiting factors during degraded operations, resulting in readiness for future pandemics. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Cummins culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force.
Publish the order.
By order of the Secretary of the Air Force, order number Alpha Charlie 016620, effective 1 October 2020, Master Sergeant Caleb Cummins is relieved from active duty from the 31st Fighter Wing, Aviano Air Base, Italy. Retired effective 1 October 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We will now be making a series of presentations to Master Sergeant Cummins and his family. The first presentation is a certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. It reads, "To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Caleb P. Cummins, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the 1st day of October 2020. Signed David L. Goldfein, General, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force, and Jason M. Bailey, Brigadier General, Commander, 31st Fighter Wing." In honor of Master Sergeant Cummins' retirement, we present a certificate from the President of the United States, and it reads as follows. Certificate of Appreciation for Services in the Armed Forces of the United States of America. Master Sergeant Caleb P. Cummins, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. I trust that in coming years, you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you have served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. Best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. Each retiree receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. At this time, I would like to ask Cindy to please join her husband on stage to place this pin on his lapel, symbolizing his transition from active duty to retired status. Miss Cindy Cummins, can you please ask? The United States Air Force would like to present Miss Cindy Cummins a certificate of appreciation. It reads, in grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Cindy Cummins for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for your support, which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, David L. Goldfein, General, United States Air Force, Chief of Staff, and Jason M. Bailey, Brigadier General, Commander, 31st Fighter Wing. Let's stay right there. We would now like to recognize the contributions that Master Sergeant Cummins' children have made to their father's career. Would Daniel and Brianna please come forward? Daniel and Brianna will receive special certificates of appreciation, and Master Sergeant Cummins has a few words for them.
Mike, right? All right. Try to get through this without crying. Throughout these years, Daniel and Bree, you have made sacrifices, and you've served your country as much as I have. You quietly shouldered the heavy burden that we asked you to carry. Most of the time, you didn't understand why. Didn't even understand why I wasn't there. But you quietly hid your sadness. You courageously put on a smile and defiantly promised you would support me. You were then, as now, one of the most important parts of my life. And it was your love that let me know that I was doing what was important. We missed many holidays, many birthdays, countless special occasions, while you were left at home to worry while I was away. You had to change schools, say goodbye to friends, and move multiple times. Your resilience and self-confidence throughout those moves gave me strength. As I tell you every day, I'm proud of you guys. It was your love and support that sustained me during those difficult times, and there's no way in my mind that I could have been as successful in the military without having you guys' support. Your understanding, and most importantly, your unquestionable love. Thank you for being there for me, guys.
The certificates read as follows. Daniel and Brianna, On behalf of our grateful nation for directly supporting your father's military career, words cannot begin to express our gratitude. The certificate is offered as a token of our esteem, July 9th, 2020. At this time, I would like to ask Lieutenant Colonel Jersh to make a presentation on behalf of the IG office.
All right, Caleb, before I read this one, I just wanted to say a couple words while I have the opportunity. I've only got to know Caleb for about a month when I just took over the IG. I can already tell that it's a really special office, mainly because of the senior NCOs, much like Caleb that we have that are running the shop. We thank you for your service for the past 20 years. I mean, kind of looking around here and looking at those photos and looking for some of the things that sit in this room, it was expertise that you provided that helped keep the peace here in Western Europe, you know, pretty much since World War II. And it's for people like you that paid attention to all the regs, which we'll talk about here in a minute, that really helped hold the line. So you guys should be very proud of your dad and should be very proud of your husband for what he did. I'm sure you're well aware. We're happy that you're going to get more time with him in the future, but we really thank what he's done for the Air Force for the past 20 years. I will say just, you know, the one anecdote in the time that I got to know Caleb over the past month, he's always smiling, he's always in a good mood, and he's always super helpful. I honestly didn't know that he was going to retire this early until about a week ago. And I would say, and I was telling Major Trevino on the way over here, the one thing that I'll take away just from his character is that you really spent all your effort to make sure that I'm as up to speed as I can be in the IG office. And if I were in your shoes, I don't know if I would have been as focused as making sure that a guy like me was up to speed. So that's just the kind of person he was. You know, he already had one foot out the door, but he wanted to make sure that the organization that he was leading was in the best shape possible. So I definitely appreciate that personally, and the organization appreciates that. So here we got a nice photo of the elephant walk here. It says Master Sergeant Caleb, what's the rig say? That's your new call sign, Cummins. August 2018 to July 2020. Thank you for always providing the black and white answer while also being able to understand potential areas of gray. You are a great teammate, professionally and personally. We are grateful for your tireless contributions to the mission, to the wing, and to the community. Your retirement is well earned, and we wish you all the best of luck mowing your grass. So.
That's awesome. Sir.
And I forgot to fly your flag in my jet, but I have flown the IG coin multiple times. So I know you probably already have one of these, but I'll give you one that actually flew. So you got
Thank you very
that.
much, sir.
We also have a presentation from Senior Master Sergeant Bloom.
I don't have a great picture. That's awesome. That was a good day. Good elephant walk. A great photo.
You were in that helicopter that took that, right?
Maybe not that one. I'm not sure, but 20 years, Caleb. Dude, I'm super proud of you. The country's proud. It's kind of bad that we have to see you go, but dude, I'm so excited about the next chapter, the next book you're gonna write. Badass. Cindy, Director of Operations, at-home commander. Thank you. 20 years. Yeah. Daniel, Bree, your dad's a badass. That's awesome. He's awesome. I just see like munitions like this sit up here. We haven't used these in a long time, nor should we, right? Because they're deterrents. But people are standing on the line, like Caleb, ready to rock and roll with the nation asking to do this. And then the black and white, the regs, like what's the regs say? I had a different call sign, but that one stuck first, so there we go. What do friends get? Friends, I guess we get them wine barrels. And it says, Cummins, the best wines are the ones we drink with friends. And I'm gonna hold you to that. And then it's got the 2W2. So I was prior 2W1 a long time ago. So we always talk about that back and forth. And then I appreciate your friendship, everything you've done. And I'm super excited to see the next book you're gonna write, and your family's gonna write.
Thank you, Colonel George, for the presentation, as well as Senior Master Sergeant Bloom for that beautiful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Master Sergeant Caleb P. Cummins, retired.
But I might joke. That's all the mic, man. I might joke.
Use your big boy voice.
Can you hear me now? Awesome. Alright, oh, I wrote this down. I had to write it down, otherwise I wouldn't get through it. I'm a sap. I'm sorry. This isn't church. Make some noise. First off, I want to say thank you for the guys who made this possible, the ceremony possible. I told Cindy I didn't want to have a ceremony, and she convinced me I had to. So,
Thanks, Cindy.
last minute, asked Sergeant Nacho to help out, and this is more than I deserve. So, Nacho, Tina, Major, thank you. The rest of the IG office, thank you for helping put this together. You guys have been great. It's more than I really deserve. So, man. Thanks to Senior Bloom for and 56 for giving us this video. It's beautiful. Thank you very much. The flag. Didn't see it. My shadow box. You hold it. The flag's important to me. So I got it when I was deployed in Kuwait. Was flown on a Predator. And then it's still not done traveling, but it's flown on a helicopter. Senior Bloom picked it up. Flown in a 16. Thanks, Colonel George. It's going to fly at Kirtland on all those aircraft, and it's going to go over the state capitol eventually. So proud of that. Thank you for the help with that. Munn's family, Sergeant Perez, Sergeant Clary, thank you for bringing that. This bad boy is the newest member of our nuclear weapons stockpile, the Mod 12. So as soon as Senior Wilson offered it up to me, I knew it was a sign. So thank you very much. To my family, Cindy, Daniel, Bree, I can't say thank you enough. I can't say thank you enough. I have a token. Let me get to that. Help me breathe. All right, Mama. All right, Cindy, my rock, my teammate. I mean, we've been there through thick and thin, tragedies, lots of successes, all sorts of relationships. You're my lobster. Sorry, crazy mad me joke. Friends, I'm sorry, friends. Oh. Friends. Sorry. Kids, on top of everything that I said before, I'm Mr. Mom now. I get to stay home with you guys, so no more having to wear this and go off and be missing for a while, so that's now. I hope you've seen the example that me and Mom have been for you guys, so I hope it grows. Chaplain, Senior King, thank you whole national anthem. So. And Chaplain, what you said, spot on. I expected golf practice. That was good. All right. So now I'm going to give a shout out to a few of the airmen from my past agency managers. First, Daryl Blackwood. He's not here, but maybe you'll see this when I post it on Facebook. You made me the smartest I am today, and so many other 2W2s. I thank you for that. The 12-hour days you drove us through to finish the weapon retrofits instilled the foundation of a work ethic in me, as I'm able to see that continues today. We have the inside results to prove that. I used to say, work hard, play hard, and we sure did. Chuck and Mariana Sobolewski. Thanks for being there when life struck a massive tragedy. Chuck gave me this advice once, and he may not even remember the conversation. He said, the Air Force will send you wherever it needs you, anywhere. But it's up to you to be the best you can be in that position. And I took that to heart in all my moves. So thanks, Chuck. All right. Dave Luke. Thanks for consistently stimulating me, saying, Caleb, you're just not getting it. He was my MESO when I was at Kirtland in the accountability section, so one of the few civilian MESOs in Air Force history. I don't think he ever did tell me that I did get it though. Have you ever been through a certification or a pre-cert with Dave Luke? A 2-hour cert can turn into a 6-hour training event. So, but it did push me to understand the intent of regulations. Dave Luke's one of the reasons why I did get into the regs now. So, thanks, Dave. John Figueroa, in my time at Esterlick, replaced him as section chief, and he gave me this advice: never accept the first answer. Always ask 2 follow-up questions. Very straight to the point, and I definitely learned a lot in Turkey. Like I said, it was not a short year whatsoever. Mass Sergeant Vanessa, Mario. Thanks for challenging me in IG, keeping me straight, and keeping me in check. You know, it wasn't a competition, but it was a pure check, and you make me go back to the reference at times to ensure we're doing what was correct. So he asked me, he's like, "Is that really what it says?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I can't go back to check." So that's what a peer should be. Thanks, Mark. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. My career is nothing compared to the fire pilots, the special ops airmen. They're saving lives every day. Even the 202s are out there in the crew field right now. But I feel we all have a role to play. And I feel like I play my role well. I want to get to that though. This weapon, this trainer shape, represents all that I would intend for a retirement ceremony. Ever since I was an airman, I just loved going to retirement ceremonies, mainly 2W2, some outside of our career field. Seeing how the CNCOs incorporated their families into the ceremonies laid a foundation for the dream of my ceremony. And once COVID hit, I didn't think it was going to happen. So God works in the serious ways, so it came through. Anyway, so when Samir Olsen mentioned it, I knew it was a sign, you know, especially when Paredes said, "Hey, it's you, the new one." Okay, the 12, mod 12. This weapon is a 2W2 future, just as you guys are the future for the Air Force. So I'm glad to see old trusty go out, and you guys get to see the new one coming in. I'm glad all the ones folk are here because many of them were my tech school students. But I taught these kids. Excuse me, Aaron. So if you had me in class, I'm sorry. Very sorry. I'm still in my NCO formative years as an instructor. So, but don't get me wrong, I loved teaching, and that was my passion. If I ever have a chance to get back there as a civilian, I'll go back and teach. If you haven't been able to tell yet, I get very, very passionate about what I do. And I'll leave you with this: be passionate about something that will make a lasting change. Don't be a flash in the pan. something that would burn out quickly. My passion was integrity. Of course, all of the core values, they're important to me. But as I was going through the MEPS process, I wrote a small prayer in a document as a milestone in my life. And I know I still have that little paper, it's probably storage. I asked God to help me keep my stride for integrity. That happens before I even know what core values were. So that's what I think. I know. He had me on the track. It was this small voice in me. So I always believed in the small voice in my head. So believe in the small voice in your head because sometimes it's right. That's my wife. Sometimes it's right. We get to eat when I'm done?
Yeah, man.
I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. We're going to do it a cappella. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sun. Here it comes, here to meet our thunder. Adam boys, give him the gun. Give him the gun. Down he dives, fighting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, we're down in flame. Hey, nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force. This concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of Master Sergeant Cummins and family, thank you for attending. Please join us for a light refreshments.